There's a moment that changes everything. I didn't quit my 6-figure nurse practitioner job because I was burnt out. I didn't quit because of money or even the workload. I quit because of a single moment, one conversation where I realized that my peace, my health, my self-respect was worth more than any paycheck that I could get. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. If you're new here, my name is Naisha Nicole, and if you've seen my face before, you know that we are 100% locked in, and this is a channel of honesty, so welcome back. So before that day, I thought that I could work through anything. Like, you could not tell me that I just wasn't the worker of steel and I couldn't push through anything in any situation. I would tell myself, like, I would have to do mental gymnastics with myself. I would tell myself that this is how it is. I would tell myself, oh, well, the long shifts, I should just be grateful to have a job. The leadership that doesn't care, well, it's not that bad because every single place is like that. And the constant pressure, I don't even want to get into that. And every time that I felt like my back was against the wall, like I was at that limit and I was just ready to just scream, that's when I would tell myself, girl, you worked way too hard to get here. Do you know how many people would want to be in your spot? And you can't just walk away now. Like, how would that look to your peers if you just walked away? Like, I would tell myself this thing. And the dangerous part about that is that success can trick you, literally trick you into thinking that pain is somehow normal. But what I didn't realize was just how much I was normalizing the pain that I was feeling. The missed meals. Like I had countless days where I've gone 10 and 12 hours without eating, and that wasn't on purpose. Like the short tempers, like there would be times that I would just, pop off at my family, and it had nothing to do with them. My temper had just gotten so short. Or, one thing I hated to do, but hey, we're a channel of honesty, so I'm gonna keep it real. Sometimes I would pop off at nurses, and it's like I'm a nurse at heart. Like, that's what I was. I just went for an advanced degree, and that wasn't cool. Like, that constant feeling of like a knot, like in my chest, every single time that my phone would buzz, or every time like I would get this sense of like nervousness when I had to go to work, like, and it would start, the anxiety would start building the day before, because it was just like I didn't want to deal with a headache. And here's the thing. You don't even notice how much weight you're carrying until something makes you stop. You don't. You just keep going and keep going as if everything is fine, when slowly on the inside you're burning, or you're like dying on the inside. So let me tell you about this. It was just a regular meeting. And I'm telling you guys, like, we used to have meetings all the time where like nothing seemed to get accomplished. And we were short-staffed on the inpatient side. Like, we always were. We were always short-staffed. And I had literally been on like back-to-back shifts, no real break. I think I might have been on day like 7 of maybe, I think I was scheduled for like 8 or 10 days straight, something like that. And instead of support, I was met with silence, or worse, excuses, or, hey, we have help coming, or like all these things. And this is kind of what did it for me. Someone actually said, well, this is a part of your job. And like, I kind of did a little squint side look thing. And in that moment, like, something inside of me snapped. Like, and the crazy thing is it wasn't anger, but it was like clarity. Because I realized that if they can normalize my exhaustion, I'm literally telling you that I'm exhausted and I need reprieve. And if you can normalize this environment being toxic in the way that it is, then I can normalize leaving. And that's what I did. I remember sitting there, and I had my pen in my hand, and I was sitting in the meeting, like nodding, like I always did, like I was listening. But on the inside, I was already trying to figure out what my exit plan was going to be. Like I was already trying to figure out, okay, well, how many months can I survive without a job if I needed to? How, like, what is my emergency fund looking like? I need to have a conversation with my family, and we need to kind of figure out where I'm going to go from here, or what I'm going to do, because this just, it isn't it. And the thing about it is leadership, they never cared. They never even once, well, they used to talk like they care, but they never exhibited any type of action as if they cared. And so walking out of that particular meeting, it felt like I walked out of more than that room. And the crazy thing about it is like leadership and some of the physicians had their heads so far up their behind that they couldn't even notice in real time that they were losing mentally, basically their best workers. They couldn't even notice it. And when I walked out of that meeting, I walked out of denial. Yeah, it was like I stopped being in denial about what was happening. Like I walked out of pretending that my mental and that my physical health could keep paying the price for someone else's comfort. That's what I walked out of. And I didn't quit that day. That's the important part that I emphasize. And I will tell you guys, do not quit your job without an exit plan. Don't do it. This economy is bad enough. It's bad enough. And there are plenty of people searching for jobs that can't find jobs. So that's my disclaimer. Do not quit your job without having an exit plan or without knowing what your finances look like. But that day I knew the countdown had already started in my head. And I want you to check out this video that I had. Like I made a video about creating an exit plan, and I'll link it up here in the description, or not in the description, but I'll link it up here. I want you to check out that video, because that's the scariest part. Once you see the truth about your situation, and I'm going to stand 10 toes down on this. Once you see the truth about your situation, you cannot go back to pretending. And that's in life. Like that is just in general. Once you see it, if you go back to pretending, then you're living in a delusion. If you can go back to pretending that things are, it doesn't matter what it is, whether it's your relationship, whether it's setting boundaries, whatever it may be. Once you see it, there's no way you can unsee it. You can't. You can't go back to the old version of yourself who thought that surviving was the same thing as success. You can't. I mean, I know I couldn't. Once I saw what I needed to see, nobody, I don't care who they were, nobody could convince me to go back to that old version of myself. Not a single person. And don't think that they didn't try, because according to them, me leaving caught them by surprise. But I don't know how something like that to that magnitude can catch you as surprise when it's something that has been going on for such a long time. But because you never took a moment to look from the outside in, that's why it caught you by surprise. Success is not survival. It's not. And so I want to take a pause here, and I want to ask you, like, have you ever dealt with something like this before? Have you ever had that moment where you realized, no, this is just not going to work? Like something that shifted everything in you. Even if nothing changed immediately, because for me, me leaving this job had probably been about 2 years in the making. It wasn't a decision that I took lightly and I just up and quit. So, and that's just me keeping things transparent. It took me about 2 years to fully remove myself from that job. So I ask you, have you ever had one of those moments, even if nothing on the outside changed, but everything on the inside changed. Let me know in the comments and let me know, what did you do once you had that experience? Like, what was your turning point? Let me know in the comments. And you know me, I'm always gonna give you value no matter what I'm talking about. I'm always gonna give value. So here's what I learned. There's always a moment of truth. Sometimes you just have to wait for it. It might be a meeting like mine. It might be a conversation like mine. It might be a look. And the thing about it is when it happens, you'll feel it. Like, you will know. Like, you will feel it somewhere in here. And the thing about it is your body is going to know before your brain can even explain what happened. Because remember, and I did a video, I'll link it up here. Your brain is always going to try to protect you because your brain feels like that's the right thing to do. But your body is going to tell you the truth. You'll feel it. In that moment, don't let it slip away. That moment is your signal. And the thing about it is you can't ignore it forever. It's because it's going to keep coming and it's going to keep coming. And for me, that 2-year process, it led to me leaving my 6-figure, and I say job, but it's a career. I left a 6-figure career. And for you, it might be a boundary, a new decision, or like even giving yourself permission to stop shrinking. It looks different ways for different people. But sometimes the bravest thing that you can do is not power through it, but pivot. Like, sometimes our brain wants us to power through it. Our brain wants us to be like, oh my goodness, we got to like stick it out. We got to work hard and do this thing. That's sometimes what our brain wants us to do. But our body, it may just want us to pivot. And that's something that you just have to feel, right? And I share this because I believe that so many of us wait until we're at this breaking point to try to make changes. But the thing about us being at this breaking point is that, like, mentally, we're not prepared for it. Maybe financially, we're not prepared for it. Maybe physically or spiritually, we're not prepared for it. So it's like, if you've been ignoring your moment, this is your sign. Start preparing. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to have, your next destination planned, at least not right now. But what you can do is you can start planning it. You can start putting things in motion. You can start doing that mentally. And I would love to hear from you. I want to know, what was your moment? Tell me what your moment was, that one moment that made you rethink everything. Let me know in the comments, because I promise you, there are people that are either going through this or have been through this. And I think that this is an important conversation, because this is something where you can learn from other people's experiences, or you can share your experience so that other people can learn from it, just like I am. And if you're not sure where to start, I created a boundary reset, and it's free. It's a free guide to kind of help you reclaim your peace, your power, and your presence. And you can grab it in the description. I'll put it down in the description for you. And like I said, it's a free guide, and it gives you like 7 guilt-free ways that you can do that. And just, hey, it's free. Just see, it might help, right? Just take a look at it. It might help you. But, the biggest thing is that I share these things that I've gone through in hopes that it can like touch one person. 2, 3, 100. It doesn't matter. As long as it reaches the right people and help them through whatever they may be going through, just like I was going through it. And when I was going through my ordeal, I wish that I had, somebody that was out there that was willing to talk about their experiences and their truth. So that's why I do this. And I show up every day, and I'm going to continue to show up to reach, like I said, at least one person. I appreciate you guys so much. You have no idea. And if you've made it this far, I'm going to say it again. Go ahead and subscribe, because you know that you want to. And I appreciate you if you do decide to subscribe to the channel. I appreciate you guys so much. My name is Naisha Nicole, and YouTube is going to recommend a video right here. I suggest that you check it out. I've done a couple of things. I did a 30-day challenge where I did 30 straight videos in 30 days, and you get to see my progression through that. And again, I appreciate you guys so much. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel, share this with anyone that you feel like need to hear this, because I know that there are people that is out there. I appreciate each and every last one of you. My name is Naisha Nicole. Peace.